This is the ultimate and only Fury Warrior guide you're going to need for Phase 2 of Season of Discovery. First off, looking at what stat priority we want, you're going to want hit chance, of course, first and foremost. Then it's going to be crit, then it's going to be strength, then agility, and lastly, attack power. Hello, my name is Javier, and I am here to make your life in World of Warcraft a lot easier. We're now going to be looking at two different builds, one for dual wielding and one for two-handing, starting off with the two-hand setup. First and foremost, we're putting 5 points into cruelty, increasing our crit chance with melee weapons by 5%. Going straight down, we're putting 5 points into unbridled wrath, giving us a 40% chance to generate an additional rage point when we deal damage with a melee weapon. Going down one more, we're putting 5 out of 5 into improved battle shout, increasing the melee attack power bonus of this buff. We're going to go over to the left and put 2 points into improved cleave, increasing the bonus damage done by our cleave, and then going down and putting 2 into improved execute, reducing the rage cost of execute by 5. 5 out of 5 are going into enrage after we're a victim of a critical strike, and therefore really we're just using this to get down to flurry. We can also put 1 point into Death Wish, which obviously opens up flurry, and Death Wish is going to be, when activated on a 3-minute cooldown, increasing our physical damage by 20% and making us immune to fear. However, it is also going to lower our armor and resistances, hence why it is called a Death Wish. And then we're going to put 5 out of 5 into Flurry, increasing our attack speed after we deal a critical strike. And this is why, or one of the reasons, that it is so important that we try and prioritize crit so that we can get more Flurry procs. For our last point, it's going into Bloodthirst at the bottom here, instantly attacking the target, causing damage equal to 45% of your attack power. And the next 5 successful melee attacks are going to restore a bit of health for us. Now let's have a look at the runes. First of all, we're using Flagellation, gaining a 25% bonus to physical damage for 12 seconds after activating Blood Rage or Berserker Rage. And Frenzied Assault on the leg rune. While wielding two-handed weapons, your attack speed is increased by 20%. Some people also do prefer Consumed by Rage, even with the two-hand, enraging you and granting a 10% melee damage bonus for 12 seconds, or up to a maximum of 12 swings after you exceed 80 rage. But for the two-handed build, just to change things up a bit, we are going to go with Frenzied Assault. Quick Strike is going to be the next rune choice, a reckless instant melee attack with a two-handed weapon dealing attack power, physical damage. This ability benefits and triggers from anything associated with Heroic Strike. Speaking off the back of that then, Heroic Strike, Bloodthirst and Whirlwind are going to have a chance at 30% to make your next slam within 15 seconds, instant and cost no rage. That is Blood Surge, that's the waist rune. And then on the final foot rune, we're going with Enraged Regeneration, healing us for 30% of maximum health over 10 seconds, but can only be used while we are enraged. Berserker Rage or Blood Raged as well. And you can also use it while stunned. Moving on to the changes we're going to make to this build if we are using dual wielding, it's quite simple. If I take these points out here at the bottom, I'm going to take the 2 out of improved execute and 2 out of improved cleave and simply put these 4 points into dual wield specialization, increasing the damage by our offhand weapon by 20%. Then I can go back down and put the rest of the points in that I already had, bringing us back to 40. We're going to change Frenzied Assault and always take Consumed by Rage with this one, and change Quick Strike for Single-Minded Fury. While dual wielding, your physical damage and movement speed are increased by 10%. And that's pretty much going to be it for those builds. Taking a look at some of the gear you can get before we get to Biz, there's definitely a lot of options. Of course, I recommend if you are still leveling that you do raid BFD as much as possible. The XP you can get in there is absolutely astronomical from a full run. It's very, very easily puggable. If you do actually want to raid with a guild or a group of people, please do consider joining my Discord, where we do, of course, level, dungeon, and raid together, but also there's a very knowledgeable community, talking literally thousands of people here, who are very willing to help both beginners and veterans alike, who may need any assistance with class questions, add-ons, UI, retail classic, you name it, we've got you covered. I love how that sounds like a really like scripted out sales pitch, but it's actually not. The community we have is really, really amazing. And honestly, it's growing every day. And I wouldn't want you guys to miss out because like I said, we are very, very beginner friendly, etc. And we just want to help other people as well. So things of the tiger and of the strength that you can buy on the auction house, like this captain's cloak here, you can see it says random enchantment. So of strength is going to have strength on, tiger's got agility. Obviously, both of these stats are fairly okay for us. Alderman and Razorfen Downs also has a lot of good gear that you can get for Fury. And there's this interesting one, which is actually in Feralers, and you will need to do this with a group. It's available at level 40. However, it's very, very difficult. So I don't know if anyone's really going to be bothered to get that. But overall, do some PvP in Arathi Basin and Warsong Gulch. Go to Alderman, Scarlet Monastery, and Razorfen Downs. And honestly, like, if you've been raiding BFD, that gear is fine anyway. There's no need to be sweaty about leveling to level 40, you know? But if you do want to min-max before you get into the raid, then this is what it is. But you are going to be changing over that gear like that once you're in Nomagon. Going on to the Biz gear then, I'm going to be taking Blacksmithing for the Tempered Interference Negating Helmet. This increases your crit chance by 1%. And when you use it, it is going to reduce your movement speed. However, it's also going to increase your attack speed, which is fantastic. This is for 10 seconds on a 10-minute cooldown. Looking at the next few pieces, these are mainly just from Nomagon. Nomagon Peace Officer's Talk on the neck, adding attack power and again, crit 1%. Trogslayer's Pauldrons on the shoulders and Drape of Dismantling. These are all from Nomagon. I'm going with the insulated set on the chest, legs, and boots. And although these are generally for rogues and druids, the amount of strength, agility, and stamina we can actually get on these is superb. Otherwise, you could go for the Plate Hazard breastplate. This is giving some more attack power, but not nearly as much strength, etc., and agility. On the wrists, we're going to go for the Warsong Outriders Exalted reward, which is these Berserker bracers. If you are going with the two-handed build, I would recommend from Nomagon, Thermoplug's Rocket Cleaver. And then if you're going dual wield, it's actually really interesting that it's a fist weapon. I would go for the Mechatorx Arcano Shredder. Chance on hit to do this big old blast of arcane damage, reducing all resistances and increasing all spell damage taken. So this is going to be a raid-wide kind of buff that we can actually give people as well. And then you can go for the Sanguine Skull Crusher, which is actually a reward from the STV PvP event. Or you could go for the Cogmaster's Claw, again from Nomagon, another fist weapon. On the gloves, we're absolutely going to want the Machinist's gloves. Again, these are leather, but they add 30 attack power and fighting mechanical units. If you're not aware, in Classic, it isn't always that plate wearers are wearing plate. You know, Paladin healers are always wearing cloth, etc. And some people aren't always aware of this. This is kind of how Classic is, by the way. I've been playing Classic since it was originally Classic, like 20 years ago, which is insanity. So yeah, it's very fun to see this kind of stuff coming back, but it's definitely a bit of a culture shock if you're not already used to this kind of play style. Power assisted lifting belt on the belt, funnily enough, which is from engineering, adding two-handed weapon skill by 3 on all of those. If you're going one-handed, then it's going to be the Dark Vision Girdle, and this is going to increase your hit chance by a further 1%. Legs we've already spoken about, and boots, that's the same, going to be the same set pieces I've spoken about. Devastation Ring on the ring. This is a unique equip, again, from Nomagon, adding some nature and arcane resistance, as well as stamina, agility, and strength. Phase 1 Protector's Band from PvP is still really fantastic, and same goes with the Akume Void Pearl that you get from the end of BFD. 420B Experiment, increasing your attack power every 30 minutes, with 18 attack power on, so use this wisely, but really good, again from Nomagon. And then there's this bow you can get as well, which is a very low drop chance from Alderman, so this is going to be Bear Cub Bossy 90, thank you for the follow. If you guys don't know, I also do stream Season Discovery on Twitch, hence that notification you've just seen. So do check out that. There's a link below in the description, and you can follow me over there and watch my own journey in SoD. But yes, anyway, this could be a really expensive bow. So if you can't get this, I would go for something like the Silencer, again being a well drop, or there's the high-tech super gun, which is from Nomagon. But the Monolithic is going to be best in slot. Don't forget, we can also get this new skill book in dungeons in Phase 2 of SoD, which is our Commanding Shout. The Warrior shouts, increasing stamina of all party members within 30 yards by 2, lasts 2 minutes. This is a fantastic quality of life improvement. I'm really glad they've brought this into Phase 2. Again, you can get this in dungeons dropping, so don't forget to pick this up before you get to 40 if you are dungeon leveling. On the consumables front then, Spider sausage is going to be the best food. There is also a Kodo stew, etc. Spider sausage is in the northwest area of Dustwallow Marsh. You just kill the spiders, farm them, very easy. Can be trained in Stormwind and Orgrimmar. Elixir of Ogre Strength, increasing strength. Elixir of Agility. Dragon Breath Chili also actually will stack with the spider sausage, by the way. So this is a really good buff that you can get. And depending on professions, obviously I've already spoken about engineering, I've already spoken about blacksmithing, but if you're not taking these two, or if you're taking blacksmithing and don't want engineering, another one I would recommend to most people is enchanting for this here, the Sigil of Innovation. This you can put on for 30 minutes and it increase your attack power by 20. I do not believe it persists through death, however, and therefore it is on a 30-minute cooldown and may drop off, and you will have to reapply it or wait to reapply it if you do die. And another option is the mildly irradiated rejuvenation potion, which is going to restore mana and health for us. Obviously we don't care about mana, but it is also going to increase your attack power by 40 by 35 for 15 seconds. And there you go, everyone. That is the complete build for Fury Warriors in Phase 2 of SoD. I am going to be doing a complete gearing guide, including Pre-Bis Biz and how to level on a much more in-depth basis soon, regarding what bosses to get them from, what quests to do, and things like that to make sure you're on the right track, and also some other guides as well. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that.